The sun rises over Gaza, revealing the scars of another night. Dawn is not a promise here, it's a grim inventory. Are your neighbors alive? Is your home still standing? The call to prayer is often drowned by the hum of drones, a constant reminder of danger. Every action is a risk. Even searching for water or bread can be fatal. Children wake not for school, but to the tremors of bombardment, their games shaped by ruins. Sleep is rare, shattered by explosions and the ever-present fear of what each noise might mean. Parents try to shield their children, but the fear is visible, and the vocabulary of war, blockade, ceasefire, drone becomes part of childhood. Yet, in the rubble, small acts of defiance persist. A woman sweeps her tent's entrance, a man shares bread with a neighbor. These gestures are quiet rebellions, threads holding the community together. The sun climbs, casting long shadows over the ruins. For Gaza's people, survival is measured in moments between explosions. This is not living, but enduring. Each dawn is a test of spirit, a day to be survived, not lived. The world may look away, but here every sunrise is a battle. In Gaza, loss is not a number. It's a mother clutching her son's jersey, a father digging through rubble for a sign of his family. Fatima's home was once filled with laughter. Now she mourns her son Ahmed, killed playing football. Yusuf, a baker, lost his wife and daughters in an airstrike. He searches the ruins, haunted by memories and silence. Noor, the sole survivor of her family, wanders the camps, her trauma so deep it has stolen her voice. These stories echo everywhere. Every family has lost someone, every person carries a wound. Birthdays, weddings, and dinners are now memories tinged with pain. Survival brings guilt. Why did I live when others did not? In crowded camps and food lines, stories are whispered, keeping memories alive. These are not statistics. They are people loved and missed. The collective grief is overwhelming, but sharing it is an act of resistance. In every story told, the dead are remembered and the living remind the world, we are more than numbers. The trauma is deep, but so is the determination to remember. Gaza's pain is personal and its stories demand to be heard. The world must see the faces behind the loss. These voices are Gaza's heartbeat. They will not be silenced. In Gaza, seeking aid is a deadly gamble. Distribution points for food and water are called death points, places where hope and danger collide. Crowds gather, desperate for flour or water, but these sites are often targeted, turning relief into tragedy. 33 people were killed in a single day, simply for trying to feed their families. Fathers risk their lives, torn between hunger at home and the threat of violence at aid sites. The chaos is worsened by poor communication from aid organizations. Confusion leads to deadly mistakes. UNICEF has condemned the system, saying it deepens the crisis. The promise of aid is laced with fear. What should save lives can end them. Men return home traumatized or not at all, leaving families grieving and hungry. The term death point is no exaggeration, it's a daily reality. The system meant to help is broken, and the people pay with their lives. Providing for one's family has become a potential suicide mission. The psychological toll is immense, compounding the physical hunger. In Gaza, survival is a cruel paradox. The search for sustenance is a walk through a minefield. The world must understand. Aid is not just scarce, it's dangerous. This is the reality of life under siege. Gaza's agony is trapped in a political deadlock where human lives are bargaining chips. The fate of hostages and the hard-line stance of the Israeli government keep the war grinding on, with millions suffering as negotiations stall. Ceasefire talks collapse and the blockade remains, turning basic needs into weapons. For families in Gaza, distant political maneuvers mean only more hunger, more loss. The world debates. Gaza endures the consequences. Gaza's lifelines, water, electricity, healthcare are collapsing by design. Only a fraction of water facilities function, forcing families to survive on less than the bare minimum. Disease and malnutrition spread rapidly, especially among children. Hospitals are crippled by power outages and shortages of medicine, staff, and supplies. Premature infants and the sick face death from treatable conditions. The blockade suffocates the healthcare system, leaving doctors to make impossible choices. Families huddle in darkness, isolated and afraid. The siege is not just a blockade, it's a systematic attack on survival itself. This is a slow-motion catastrophe unfolding in the shadows of broken hospitals. The world must not ignore this silent massacre. Survival, their voices will not be erased. The numbers are staggering. Over 56,000 dead, entire families erased. Each statistic is a life, a story, a loss that ripples through the community. Hospitals, overwhelmed and under siege, treat the wounded in impossible conditions. Children bear the heaviest burden, suffering from malnutrition, disease and trauma. Most of Gaza's population is displaced, living in squalor and fear. Ceasefire hopes flicker and die as violence continues on both sides. The cycle of retaliation traps millions in endless suffering. The world counts the dead. Gaza mourns them. This is the true cost of war. Gaza's landscape is one of ruined city blocks reduced to rubble, lives erased. Families search debris for fragments of their past, a toy, a photo, a piece of clothing. Refugee camps sprawl endlessly, overcrowded and stripped of dignity. Even in death there is no peace. Mass graves replace traditional burials and mourning is hurried, fearful. The war denies the dead their rights and the living their grief. Yet rituals persist, shared meals, whispered prayers, stories told and retold. These acts are resistance, a refusal to let memory and love be destroyed. In the face of erasure, Gaza's people assert their humanity. Loss is everywhere, but so is remembrance. Even when all else is gone, memory remains. Despite devastation, Gaza's spirit endures, a stubborn flame of hope and resilience. Teachers gather children to draw, medics work without rest, children play amidst ruins. This is not acceptance but defiance, a refusal to be defined by suffering. The dream of a peaceful future persists, even as bombs fall. Gaza's stories must be seen and heard. Their suffering is a moral outrage, not an inevitability. The world must look beyond politics and see the people, mothers, fathers, children, denied their basic rights. This is a call to conscience, to act, to end the blockade, to demand peace. Gaza's humanity is unextinguished. To recognize it is to reclaim our own. The world must not look away.